What have you heard about the recent changes to the Deadmatter map? In today's video, we will look at what's true and false based off the current info that we have from the devs, but in your opinion, is this whole map debacle a game killer or an overreaction? Please take a moment to respond to the poll in the top right of your screen now while we get started.
Player 2 has entered the game.
Okay, so the first thing that I want to say is while I do still have plenty of trust in this Deadmatter dev team, I'm a bit disappointed that there will be several maps instead of one big 20 kilometer by 20 kilometer map. Not for the recent misinformation going around that Deadmatter's now not an open world game, because it definitely still is, which we'll go over in more detail shortly. But no, I'm upset with the fact that I backed this game thinking I could walk or drive from the big city to my claimed cabin in the woods seamlessly, no load screens or anything, with all the gear that I've gathered. Now that's just an example. Point is, I didn't think that you'd have to load into the city or other places. I figured it would all be connected more like Skyrim, Far Cry, Fallout, and I'm sure the case was very similar with many of you. In fact, I am curious, were you expecting the map to be several different regions like it is, or more along the lines of what I was thinking? I'll add a poll in the top right for that too. Okay, so with all that being said, there is still some truth and some fallacies to everything that's being said about the map currently, and that's what I really want to delve into in this video. And by the way, if you're a new viewer to this channel, I'm Player 2, and if you need to keep up to date on Deadmatter news and info, consider subscribing to this channel and checking out my social media accounts in the description below to not miss anything. Anyways, throughout the days after the map being first brought up, prematurely I might add, we have received about as much information as they can give us till the January roadmap, where from what the devs have been saying, the map will be explained in greater detail, but till then, I'll read through several responses they have given us that I actually believe should ease your mind a bit. They did, at least for me. Let's start with the pinned comment that they have in their Discord server about the map. Okay, so Holly Jolly Hank says, gonna clear some things up right now. The map is not being instanced into separate sections of the map. The map is being scaled down in size throughout early access. Additional maps will be added and released. Each map will be its own seamless, full-feature, distinct environment in its own separate location, just like different maps in Miscreated, DayZ, Ark, or many other games with multiple maps. Being able to travel between maps will be a capability to those that have the proper server setup, but the act of traveling between maps in it itself isn't meant to be a frequent action that is integral to core gameplay, and it's not something players are going to be forced to do. So that to me already sounds a lot better than what I had originally assumed. It originally sounded like there would be one map that would be split into several different locations, all on different servers, but with this and many of the other responses I've read, that is not the case. So after reading that, naturally my questions are, what are the map sizes? Why not just keep it all one big 20 kilometer by 20 kilometer map? Will it be smooth transitioning from one map to another? Will it work with friends? And of course spawn camping, which we're going to get into now. So starting with map size, I really like to get really basic on it. How big is the first map going to be? Says 50. Nick Z says at least 10 by 10, and this is straight from the lead dev. Possibly larger, but we'll be announcing it when we've got the time to do a proper announcement, which I imagine once again will be in January. And that's just the first map. Joka says there's a lot of misinformation in those YouTube videos. Haha. The game is 100% still being open world. The map sizes are being scaled down, but we are getting 4x4 to 10x10 in terms of map sizes. Now this will be quite obviously with the 10x10 being the larger rural map, while the 4x4 is more than likely going to be the city map. And Holly Jolly Hank says the city can't fit within the scaled down map. Even within the 20 by 20 kilometer map, it would take up too much space to do a proper city environment and have it blend well. The team definitely still wants to do the city, and to give it proper justice, it will need to be its own map. And that makes sense to be near the top of their biggest reasons for actually doing the separate maps. I also appreciate that Holly Jolly Hank adds, just to clear something up by the way, world does not mean empty by any means, so that big 10 by 10 map, making the map smaller, gives more headspace to fill in as well. The team does not want the game to feel like a walking simulator with nothing in it, like you see in games like DayZ. which I really appreciate, and it's all fine and dandy, but really what matters is, if we're going to be moving to separate maps within the game, how smooth is that transition going to be, and will we be able to do it with teammates? So Ultra brings up a good point. Okay, so if I'm on map A, and I want to join my friends on map B, we have to be on a server that hosts map A and B. Napupentolatot Worm King, you and your friends could be on the same server, and you be on Calgary and your friends be on Vancouver Island. You would then have to go to a Vancouver Island via some variety of a load, so like a load screen. And if that didn't really drive it home for you, Zulu Centurion says, so in one server, you can still travel between more than one map. Joka says, if the server owner has multiple servers connected on the database, then yeah. So with it looking like we should be able to hop around to different maps along with friends on the same server box without having to switch servers or do weird, complete immersion breaking tasks, I'm slightly relieved, but another piece of this is spawn camping. Thankfully, we have the dev Gunslinger to give us a little bit of insight. Mizo says, well, people will camp the TP zones, and what about loading screens? It will be enjoying to have to sit in a loading screen for minutes. Why would that be enjoying? Gunslinger says they will not. Mizo says, why not though? Because you select the spawn, so you would need to camp quite a lot of locations.
It's true.
So it's quite obvious that they have already had spawn camping in mind during level design, due to the multiple locations you can spawn into the map from, and the limited number of players on a server. Spawn camping should not be a major threat. By the way, if you have any questions of your own, you should join the Deadmatter Discord server if you haven't already, and ask them directly. That's where I've obtained all this info from. You will get a response. Because of the constant responses and keeping us in the loop, I will give Deadmatter team the benefit of the doubt till proven otherwise, and wait till the January roadmap before freaking out over something that could almost be a non-issue. But after watching this video, let me know how you feel about the map changes and information that we've been given. For more Deadmatter info and news, consider subscribing or following my social media links in the description below. See you next time.